everyone, it's Holly, and in this video today I am cutting a couple of tallow soaps that I had made. I did not film the making of these, and I wasn't planning on filming this, but I thought, you know what, we like cutting soap videos too. Sometimes the cutting is just really fun. So this first one is an orange spice tallow soap. Now, I did make a soap last year that was orange and cinnamon. This does have a little bit of clove in it, but it also has some, let me think that through, grapefruit essential oil. So some of the color here is from pumpkin. I used some pureed pumpkin, but it also, most of the color is actually coming from the essential oils. They're great. Now these batches, I did add some shea butter. So with my tallow soaps, they're so creamy and amazing, I add coconut and cocoa butter and some castor oil, and I added some shea this time. And so, oh, just wait till you see this one. If you like purple, just hold on. So this one is lavender, and I did have a request to make a lavender tallow soap, so that's what we're doing here today. And I don't know if you could see it, but I actually watched this one get hotter and hotter and hotter, and I do have a little bit of crack there. It's not that big of a batch, but it's heavy with its mold. Anyway, I used ultramarines to color this. I used a mixture of blue and pink and violet ultramarine. They're so pretty. So here we have the colors, and I find that I don't get a lot of traction from this ultramarine violet color. Very pretty though. It's almost out, as you can tell. But I like to add ultramarine blue, which, holy moly, look at that. That one is a potent thing. And then I do like to go ahead and mellow it a bit with some pink. So I get these from Brambleberry. I really like these colorants. They're just oxides, and ultramarines are so good. So I really love how this one swirled. I'm really excited to get in and get it cut. So let's do that. All right, so we're gonna get this unmolded here, and I just use freezer paper inside of a wood mold that my husband has built for me. And so I'm just gonna get these, slide this out. I made it several days ago. So it's nice and hard coming right out. Oh, it smells so good. I love this so much. This was a really popular soap with my release last, I think it was a winter release. I think it went with the Christmas. Now you might see some like drippy, smeary marks. If you do, that is just from the alcohol that I spray to help prevent ash. It just seeps down the side sometimes. Not a big deal. Okay, I'll set this one back down. And then we'll get this one unmolded. I am just as pleased as a punch. Now I do have a little bit, you probably can't see it, but I just have a tiny bit of ash right there. I don't know why it decided just to do it right there, but it has a mind of its own. And these look a little weird sometimes, don't they? This did get pretty warm. Again, we have the alcohol drippies. They kind of look a little funny. This is just an in the pot swirl. Oh, these are also made with buttermilk. I have forgotten to mention that. This is a tallow soap made with buttermilk. I normally make it with cream, but I did go with the buttermilk this time. So this is my soap splitter. I bought it from Smith Creek Studios quite a long while ago. I don't believe they're making them anymore. So I do make these a little bit wider so that I can take a slice off the end. So I have not only a nice smooth edge, but then I can also do some samples. Oh wow, that got a little wild looking inside. Isn't that cool? It's a little bit yellow. It will lighten up as it gets air exposed to it. The last lavender soap I made, which was just with my regular recipe, I believe it was a lavender goat milk. I made it all purple, and I just think this is looking so cool as a swirl. Oh, look. I don't know if you can see that. So this is a little bit bluer here than the inside. Seems to be, or this more towards the outside color. It's a little bit more purpley where the inside is a little bit bluer. So it'll be fun to see that shift. Now, if you are a new soap maker, this may be shocking to you if you do something like this the first time. Lavender can be, in my experience, lavender is a little bit potent. Oh, this is going to be a pretty big slice off the edge. The lavender can, well, oopsie, my camera died and I was starting this cut. So I was gonna say, if you're a new soap maker, the lavender, and especially in combination with the milk, oh, it can smell potent. It smells potent. It's not a horrible smell. I'm trying to figure out what it would, to me it's almost like if you just crushed like a really strong herb, probably lavender, but is that an herb? Is it a flower? I don't know what it would be called. Isn't that neat? I'll have to look that up. Is lavender just a flower, or is it considered an herb? I will have to do some research on that one. So I do want to go ahead and cut the other one, but I'm going to clean this up a bit. Okay, so now for this orange pumpkin spice. Again, I'm going to cut off a little bit, but I probably could do a smidgen more. I should have sliced up those end pieces before I cleaned up. Did not think about that. So the reason why I cut this off is that I just prefer a smoother edge, and I have some bumps and ridges here, so I like to clean that up. So this does have some speckles from the pumpkin, and that is to be expected. It's not a completely pure finely puree. That is, oh, it smells so good. We do a little bit of wonky milkiness from the buttermilk. Again, that goes away in the cure, but the fresh soap can sometimes smell a little odd, and it would catch you off guard if you were a newer soap maker, didn't know what to expect. Probably think you did something wrong, but more than likely you did not. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut these before I clean this up. I have 2 more batches of soap to cut today. I'm gonna try to fit those in. So this is such a pretty color. So the last time I made an orange spice was last winter, like I said, and it turned out, I'm gonna have to go this way a little bit. And it wasn't quite this orange because I didn't add any pumpkin. I shouldn't say orange. It's like a cozy yellow. It's like a comforting yellow. It's not a in-your-face yellow. So these are going to be some hefty samples. I've been cutting them at 2 inches instead of 2.5. My regular bars are cut at 2.5. As far as these loaves over here, they're 2.5. But for the samples, I've just been doing 2 because they're still quite a delightfully sized sample. I love sending out samples. So much fun. Oh, this just smells amazing. Now, the soap does have some kaolin clay in it. Now the kaolin clay is said to anchor essential oils, kind of help them to stick. There's some that won't stick around as long as others. We do pretty good with lavenders and lemongrass and some other ones, but typically citrus. Now I'm using Tenfold orange. The citrus does last quite a bit, but they will fade eventually. It's just the nature of essential oil soaps. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these soaps, and this cutter is from Bud on Etsy. I always have that in the description. I have 3 cutters from Bud, and I absolutely love them all. Super good quality, strong, well made. I don't have to change the wires on this one. Oh geez, it's a little hard because it's a tallow soap, and I probably should have cut it several days ago. I'm trying to remember when I made it. I don't know, but it's been like a week probably. I think I said a few days ago, but it's like a week. Isn't that beautiful? This turned out. The other reason why this is a little bit more orange this time than the last batch, not just the pumpkin, but I added grapefruit essential oil, and let me tell you, that packs a color punch. It is a very, very dark orange. I love it though. It's good stuff. That would send it flying. This is so good. Oh. Now, tallow soaps are the ones I use. They're beef tallow. Some people use bear tallow, especially up here in Montana or bear country, Canada. Now the version from a pig is called lard. And I don't use it in all my soaps. I prefer my soaps to be vegan or with milk at the most. But I do get requests for the tallow. And I do quite like tallow. And I have had one of my children say that the tallow was the best soap I'd ever made. I do appreciate that. I am using a tallow soap at our sink currently, and it is just as white as could be. It was the peppermint one. Now peppermint does fade out a little bit quicker than I would like. It's a hard one to really anchor down. So we'll see if I do that again this year. I may have to go with a fragrance and just a regular soap, but we'll see. We shall see. So let's see. I managed, these are just, they're so pretty lined up. I was thinking about putting the lavender right here, but then I probably won't be able to cut. Maybe I will cut my loaves first and then come back around. Maybe I'll do that. So you're just an extra. Just an extra. Okay, so now for the lavender, and I think I will just cut both so that I can stack them right here. I don't know why, I just really want to do that. So here we go. Oh, neato. It's very vertical in that part. I do kind of wish I would have filmed this because this was very beautiful. And will I remember exactly what I did? Probably not. All right, I'm just gonna set that there for a moment. This is my weird particularness. Ooh, look at that. Swirly. It's so pretty. So does anyone else, when your significant other's travels, it feels like all heck breaks loose? It's like we could be just rolling along fine, and then my husband leaves and everything's like, oh, we're going to cause you problems now. That's where I'm at this week. Oh my gosh. My husband is in Chicago this week. It's actually Tuesday, so he hasn't been gone for very long. But it's a bit of a pain. My children are older now, so even though they're still teenagers, it's a lot easier to deal with things because they help me out so very much. So we decided just to like straight up not ship this week because we can't get mail pickup out here. I know you've heard it 100 times, but we have to take our mail quite a ways down the road, and the highways have just been insane, and neither my son nor I really wanted to do that this week. So we decided that we would stay home and not run those nutty roads. We actually had to file a report with the sheriff and the highway patrol because I don't know what his issue was, but he tried running us off the road, like legitimately, and we're in a big dually. I don't know why he thought that was great, but either way, it's made us just a hit more nervous because we didn't do anything wrong. He just got upset that we passed him. That seems to be a Montana thing, but anyway, we passed safely and everything should have been fine and hunky-dory, and he turned off the road like literally a mile later. So I don't understand what the problem was. But anyway, I'm not brave enough to drive to town this week, so we are not doing that. Here we have the lavender soap. Didn't that turn out so pretty? This was amazing. Like I said, it was just an in the pot swirl. I used just one pot. So like this regular batch is 150 ounces of oil. And then, so the amount that I swirled would have been about 60 ounces. Maybe more, like between 50 and 55. That's what it would have been. And that turned out to be just a great amount of color. So again, we have the lavender tallow soap made with buttermilk, the orange spice pumpkin soap made with buttermilk. I did increase my batch sizes a little bit because my bars were getting a little bit small in these loaves. And so I did have to reduce the price of my soaps for a bit, but now they're going back up just a little, just to be the regular chunky size. I prefer this size. They end up being a little over 4 ounces. The smaller ones were like 3.75, and I prefer us to be in the 4.25, at least above 4 range. So I wonder what these are at the moment. You know what? Let's wait. Okay, so this is my favorite scale. I've had several. Mostly it's not because the scale quits working, but it starts getting rather ugly. This one is the KD8000. I usually just get it on Amazon. So this orange one it's currently over 5 ounces. It's 5.110. So that doesn't make sense. 5.10 or 5.10. So let's check the lavender. It's at 5.05. So these are going to be some wonderful size bars. Just perfect. I cut my bars at 1 inch. I used to do 1 1/4, so that put them closer to 6. Yes, this is 5.15. So these are going to be some hefty bars. I do just wrap with paper so I can adjust really, really well. So here we have the lavender soap, the orange spice. They're so pretty. They will go on the curing rack where they are going to hang out for 4 to 6 weeks. They evaporate extra water. They undergo chemical composition magical changes where it makes the bar harder, more gentle, and it will last longer. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like. Please comment down below. I love hearing from you, and feel free to share with your friends. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.